Chapter 1 Beginnings. In the quaint town of Ashbourne, nestled between rolling hills and thick forests, lived a man whose name would echo through the annals of literature for generations to come. Alastair Cromwell, a modest man in his mid-30s, was known for his quiet demeanour and piercing blue eyes that seemed to see right into the soul of every person he met. His home, a small ivy-clad cottage at the edge of town, was a sanctuary for his creative spirit. Alastair's journey as a writer began in his childhood. The son of a humble carpenter and a schoolteacher, he was introduced to the world of books at a young age. His mother, Margaret, filled their home with volumes of classic literature, and his father, Thomas, crafted him a small wooden desk where he would spend hours lost in the pages of adventures, romances, and epic tales. It was at this desk, under the gentle glow of an oil lamp, that Alastair wrote his first stories, inspired by the likes of Dickens and Tolstoy. Chapter 2 The Call to Adventure. As he grew older, Alastair's passion for writing deepened. However, the realities of life demanded his attention. He took up work as a librarian in Ashbourne's small library, a job that allowed him to be close to the books he loved, but left him little time to write. Despite this, Alastair continued to scribble in his notebooks during quiet moments, dreaming of the day he could devote himself entirely to his craft. One stormy evening, while sorting through a pile of donated books, Alastair stumbled upon a leather-bound journal. It was old and worn, its pages yellowed with age, but something about it drew him in. As he opened it, he discovered it was the diary of a writer named Jonathan Harkness, who had lived in Ashbourne over a century ago. The diary chronicled Harkness's journey as a writer and the mysterious disappearance of his final manuscript, rumoured to be a masterpiece. Chapter 3 The Quest Begins. Intrigued by Harkness's story, Alastair began to investigate. He spent countless hours poring over old records, visiting the town's elderly residents, and exploring forgotten corners of Ashbourne. The more he learned, the more he felt a connection to Harkness, as if their destinies were intertwined. One day, while exploring the dusty attic of the library, Alastair found a hidden compartment in the floorboards. Inside, he discovered a bundle of letters addressed to Harkness from various publishers and fellow writers, praising his work and lamenting his disappearance. Among the letters was a map, marked with a red X, pointing to a location deep within the Ashbourne forest. Chapter 4 Into the Forest. Determined to uncover the truth, Alastair packed a small bag with essentials and set off into the forest. The journey was arduous. the thick canopy above casting eerie shadows on the forest floor. Days turned into weeks as he navigated through dense underbrush, crossed streams, and climbed rocky hills. Along the way, he encountered various obstacles: wild animals, treacherous terrain, and the ever-present feeling of being watched. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Alastair stumbled upon a clearing. In the centre stood an ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches stretching towards the sky. At its base was a small, weathered stone with an inscription in Latin. Using his limited knowledge of the language, Alastair deciphered the text. Here lies the heart of the writer's soul. Chapter 5. The Hidden Manuscript. Digging beneath the stone, Alastair uncovered a metal box, rusted and covered in moss. With trembling hands, he pried it open to reveal a stack of papers, carefully wrapped in cloth. It was Harkness's lost manuscript, untouched by time. As he read the first few pages, Alastair felt a surge of inspiration and knew that he had found something truly extraordinary. Returning to Ashbourne, Alastair dedicated himself to bringing Harkness's work to light. He meticulously edited the manuscript, adding his own touch while preserving Harkness's original voice. The resulting novel, The Eternal Forest, was a masterpiece that captivated readers and critics alike. It told the story of a writer's journey through a mystical forest, mirroring Alastair's own quest, and resonated with anyone who had ever chased a dream. Chapter 6. A New Dawn. The Eternal Forest catapulted Alastair into literary stardom. Publishers clamoured for his next work, and he found himself with the financial means to write full-time. Yet, despite his newfound fame, Alastair remained humble, always remembering the journey that had brought him to this point. He continued to live in his ivy-clad cottage, finding solace in the simple pleasures of life. Inspired by Harkness's story, Alastair wrote prolifically, producing a series of novels that explored themes of perseverance, creativity, and the human spirit. His works were celebrated for their depth, imagination, and emotional resonance, securing his place among the great writers of his time. Chapter 7. Legacy. Years passed, and Alastair grew old. On his deathbed, surrounded by friends, family, and stacks of his beloved books, he reflected on his life's journey. He had fulfilled his dream and more, but what brought him the greatest joy was knowing that his stories had touched the hearts of readers around the world. After his passing, Alastair's cottage was preserved as a museum, a tribute to the man who had brought so much beauty into the world. Visitors from far and wide came to see the humble desk where it all began, the place where a young boy with a passion for stories had become one of the greatest writers of his generation. And so, the legacy of Alastair Cromwell lived on, a testament to the power of dreams, determination, and the written word.